Kick your shoes off, take a load off. Don't go nowhere till the show's off. Oh, you know it's gonna be a movie when you got Cletus Cassidy on your TV. Yeah, already know Mr. Funny Man. Coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show. Funny Man, coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of See You When I Feel Like It. That's what this show has become. It was See You in the morning. It was on at the right time. I follow some rules and regulations. Now, I just get up here when I feel like it. See you when I feel like it. That's the name of the show. Welcome to See You When I Feel Like It. I am, of course, your host, Cletus Cassidy. I don't even understand what I'm doing with my life anymore. I went from a solid 7:30 start to just whenever something happens. That's what we at with it now. We just like it. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Welcome to See You in the morning. I am, of course, your host, Cletus Cassidy. If you're wondering what this is my horrible idea to get up in the morning and put too much of my personal business out there in the streets. I do that. That's what I do. I get up, put too much of my personal business out there in the streets. And for some reason, y'all folks tune in daily to hear it. It proves to me, if I were to get up every morning and give you something sensible, like some real in-depth stories, some personal testimonies, I don't think anybody would tune in and listen. Because I'm up here just being completely foolish, it's easy. Everybody's in. Everybody's like, oh yeah, we got that. Yeah, foolishness, we here for it. We here for foolish. Yeah. Good morning, man. Now, this show goes a lot of directions, and one direction is guaranteed to go in. It's probably at some point we're gonna go left, and that's okay. But one thing I do constantly on this show. Now, I may arrive when I feel like it. I might start the show, whatever. But I'm gonna speak to the people that speak to me. So let me go ahead and knock that out this morning. Keith Brown is just gone. He's gonna go and just be him. All right. So first of all, the first three people that speak to me get the mythical morning medal. So let me get those out. The bronze medal this morning. The guys took over yesterday. So the ladies came back with a vengeance. So here they go. Ladies is in here this morning. Franita with the bronze. Franita with the bronze this morning. The silver goes to IDA, Ida Seaborn. Good morning. And the gold medal goes to TT, Tiny and Tasty. Tiny and Tasty. Crystal Pennell with the gold medal. The gold medal goes to Crystal. Crystal with the gold, Ida with the silver, Franita with the bronze, and almost getting the medal. Coming this close, but just not quite getting the aluminum fourth as my man Pastor Shy. What's going on, bro? Also, good morning to Keith Brown. I guess Tam is saying good morning. She can't come in and just say good morning. She got to come in and admonish me first. That's what I don't like. You can come in and admonish me before you can say hi first. Good morning, Mar Nasty. Wilberta, good morning. Snoop, good morning. The law firm of Jackie Bright and Riddick. I ain't seen you in quite a while. Welcome back. Carmen, good morning. Shonda, good morning. And now here go Ty. Now, Tam, save your little dry high. Save your little dry high. Nobody want that little dry high, little high. Nobody want that. Save that. I don't believe you gotta speak to people. Now I'm Southern, so I do it because out of just ritual. But I don't think you gotta speak to people. People like you gotta say hi. You walk into a room, you gotta speak to the room. Do you though? Do you? Northerners don't care. Northerners walk in the room and they don't speak to nobody. They just walk in the room. Sharana, you would like her energy, Sharana. That you would, of all people, you would like Tam's energy. Good morning, Candace. Yeah. I don't think you gotta speak. Why do I gotta speak to the whole room? First of all, I don't know everybody in the room. And then when do these rules take effect? If I walk in DMV, I ain't got to speak to everybody in the DMV. There's people in there sitting in chairs, blah, blah, blah. I don't walk in the DMV. First of all, you're getting shot. You walk in that DMV, good morning, everybody. Pow, 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 pow. Because anybody got time for that. DMV workers are some of the nastier workers that you'll ever meet. DMV workers, you're not going to find a nice DMV worker. Even if you go in nice, your first week will take all the niceness out of you. It just exacerbates every bit of nicey that you got. You like, I can't do it no more. Who made these rules? Who made the determination that we got to speak to the whole room when we walk in? Who said that was a thing? Yeah. Am I wearing pants today? I can't remember. If I'm not, y'all got a view. Y'all just seen something. I don't believe it. Now, I'm wearing a sweatshirt today. I'm wearing a hoodie only because I know y'all are doing it. Good morning, T. Mitch. I know y'all are doing it. I already know that some of y'all, especially y'all lady folks, it's getting to be that time. Y'all can't wait to put on them leggings and sweatpants. Sweatpants and hoodies. Y'all can't wait. There's a lot of y'all ladies that can't wait. The temperature ain't really dropped yet. It ain't really dropped yet, but some of y'all wake up and be like, "Oh, it was 30, it was 67." The moment it dropped below 70, I need to put on a hoodie. You ain't even let your nipples get rock hard yet. Y'all just go right ahead. Oh no, it's a little chilly out here. Good morning, Patricia. Slim Goody, good morning. Bree, good morning. T. Mitch, I think I said good morning to you. Y'all can't wait. Y'all be overdoing it. Y'all be overdoing it. Y'all be too quick with it. Give it time. Give it time, people. Y'all don't even allow for it to get chilly enough to really be wearing it. None of y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It gets on my very, very last nerve. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. You can't just allow nature to be nature. Y'all gonna go first thing. Oh, don't even get me started on Uggs, Patricia. Don't even get me started on Uggs. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and make this a fact. There are three patently ugly shoes. 3 shoes that are ugly for no reason at all. 3 shoes that are made ugly. Uggs, horrible. Good morning, Lisa. There is not a pair of Uggs that ain't ugly. You can't spell ugly without Uggs. That's what Uggs is short for. These are ugly. Goodness gracious. Uggs. Uggs are always ugly. You can't find me a pair of good looking Uggs. I don't care where you look at. Uggs is completely ugly. Every pair. And y'all ladies is buying them. I don't care if it's the real Uggs or them knockoff bare feet, bare claws, whatever it is. All of them ugly. Number two shoe that's always gonna be ugly. You can't convince me otherwise. Is the Birkenstock. Listen, ladies, I hate to see a woman in a Birkenstock. I don't care how comfortable it might be. I don't care if y'all feel like it's the greatest shoe of all time. It is ugly. Why do you have to trade comfort for look? I'm not hushing nothing. They both so comfortable. They might be comfortable, but Birkenstocks look like something they give you in a German prison. You put on that pair of jerk, I'm telling you now, you can be super fly from the waist to ankle. You put them Birkenstocks on, you go from a 10 to a 0. That Birkenstock is horrible. Horrible. You can't convince me to like a Birkenstock. You can't convince me. There's no way you can say to me, oh, I got on these Birkenstocks. These is cute. There's no such thing as a cute Birkenstock. Every Birkenstock is completely and utterly ugly. Every time you put on a Birkenstock, I believe you got corns and bad feet. You got the best feet ever. I'm talking about recently manicured. Them things is gonna look horrible. You put them Birkenstocks on. Birkenstocks are horrible. Uggs horrible. Birkenstocks are horrible. The other thing that instantly is gonna be ugly, instant ugly, is a pair of Balenciaga tennis shoes. Every pair of Balenciaga, there's none. No, not one. If you put that Balenciaga tennis shoe on, I don't care that you paid $16 million for that shoe. It's a horrible shoe. There is not a pair of nice tennis shoes from Balenciaga. Now they might throw out some other shoes that's okay. I don't wear them. I can't afford them. But every pair of them, horrible, horrid. It's a horrible shoe. I don't know why y'all. I don't even know why y'all wear. Y'all are only wearing them because of the name. It's nothing about these shoes that say to me I should be paying $1,000 for them. And I'm a tennis guy. I love tennis shoes. I really do. But you can't tell me. You can't tell me this is worth $1,000. You can't tell me that's a $1,100 shoe. That might very be $1,200. Then you gonna add on shipping and handling. It got the what's this back area for? What's that about? Why your tennis shoe got a heel on it? Where am I running in heels? Ain't no way. So y'all are buying those. You just buying them apparently because they got a name on them. Now you can say the same thing about a pair of Jordans. Good morning, Helen. You can say that about any shoe. Any shoe you paying for the name. All of the shoes coming from the same little Asian worker. Little Ming Power is making all of these shoes. Ming Power's over there working. Low wages. Making all these same shoes. At Balenciaga is a Reebok is a Nike, a Nike is an Adidas is under. All of them is the same shoe. They all getting worked by work slaves. It's all the same. Yeah. Little Ling Ling making all of them. They all in the concentration camp making them. Some poor country. They all make the shoes for like what 37 cents a shoe. And then we go and pay all that money for them. $1,200 for a pair of ugliness. Three shoes that will never, ever not be ugly. Uggs, Birkenstocks, and Balenciaga tennis shoes. We can give a special, and I know this might be hard. We can give a special honorable mention. The Crocs. Crocs get an honorable mention. Crocs are bad, but I can live with a Croc. Honorable mention go to Crocs. If I had to choose one out of the four, it's gonna be Crocs every time. If you told me I had to choose between a Birkenstock, the Balenciaga tennis shoe, and a pair of Uggs, I'm going barefoot. But I'll put on a pair of Crocs. I don't own any. I'm not trying to wear them nowhere. But I get it. I think I've seen enough Crocs that my mind now is numb to Crocs. My mind is just numb. Like people wear them to everything. Kids out there playing basketball in them, running track. But the other three, I refuse to put them on my feet. Man, I firmly believe if your woman come home in a pair of Birkenstocks, you can divorce her legally. You don't even have to do the 1 year waiting period or nothing. She come home, she was like, I just bought me a pair of Birkenstocks. You'll be like, all right, I'm out. See, Mr. Johnson, as the father of my son, it's hard for me to accept you being my son's father if you are okay with Crocs. That's not too far, Queen Honey. You are allowed to leave your wife if she comes home in a pair of Birkenstocks. I call Mr. Johnson my son's actual father. I'm gonna tell you, I put too much of my personal business out there. That was one of the hardest things. You ever had to take something to the chin? Well, ladies, I gotta talk to y'all because y'all. First of all, if you're a grown man wearing flips again, Mr. Johnson, now we got issues. Now I can't allow you to be my son's dad because now you out there wearing flip flops. You are a grown man. You should not have no flip flops on. Grown men should not have anything with thongs. It shouldn't be your pants, your underwear, nothing. You shouldn't be wearing thongs, period. Mr. Johnson, I was okay. Good morning, Betty from London, foggy London town. I was okay with you being my son's dad, but now I gotta change my mind. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I experienced heartbreak like I've never ever experienced. I didn't know that heartbreak was coming until it hit me. Until it hit me at home. It was an NE heartbreak. I think my son must have been in about the 4th or 5th grade. No, matter of fact, might have been last year. Might have been 6th or 7th grade, whatever grade it was. My son had to write on who his hero is, who his most influential person was. And I was like, boy, he's going to write something about his daddy. My son is going to write about his daddy. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to read the effect that I've had on my son's life. He didn't. He wrote about Mr. Johnson. That Jay really hurt me. First of all, because it was Mr. Johnson. So now you hear him speaking about Mr. Johnson, and you like, that's what I call my private region. So now I'm a little concerned, as my son turning into one of the letter people, there was a lot going on. My son, he wrote about another man, y'all. It was rough. It was well written. It was passionate. It was well written, passionate. What I read in it was, I wish Mr. Johnson was my actual dad. That's what I read. They didn't say all those things, but it said some amazing stuff. Mr. Johnson was there for him and taught him how to be a man. And I was like, what was I doing this whole time? I've been working my heart out, trying to be there for my son, for him to be like, Mr. Johnson's my hero. And I ain't gonna lie, Mr. Johnson, I was gonna cut your brake lines. Now, you hadn't had that recent baby, and I knew you had a baby recently and a wife at home that needs you. But when I read that report, I was gonna cut your brakes. Your brake lines was done, sir. I'm just letting you know how I feel about it. I couldn't have this. It was ridiculous. Ladies, I don't know if any of y'all have gone through that. I don't know. And now I didn't make my son feel bad about the letter. I didn't. you know, it was well written. It was perfectly timed. I'm just a sperm donor. Mr. Johnson is his father. That James crazy. I just talked to my son yesterday. Literally had my son in the car. I showed him my tour schedule. I said, son, how do you feel about my tour schedule? He looked at it and he told me, Dad, I don't care. I don't care. That man clearly said, I don't care. I'm going away. I don't care. But in his letter about Mr. Johnson, when Mr. Johnson got a new job, my son was emotionally crushed. He was like, Mr. Johnson got a new job. How am I supposed to go on? Wait, what? Mr. Johnson's not going to be my teacher anymore. It wasn't even worth me going back to school. Wait, what? These are the things that I had to read and talk about. I wish that I had, there's no better example of a man than Mr. Johnson. Well, I'm right here. I'm right here. And then I had to come to school with a Screw Mr. Johnson t-shirt the next day. Nobody knew why I had that. I had on a I hate Mr. Johnson. No JJ. Jamal is on the way. I'm going to be trying to tell him what to do. I'm going to go live with Mr. Johnson. It's crazy. And I know it's coming. I mean, and here's the whole thing. I used to be cool with Mr. Johnson. I was feeding Mr. Johnson all the time. Mr. Johnson would play basketball, all kinds of stuff. I supported Mr. Johnson and the things that he did. I can't do it no more. I couldn't just support Mr. Johnson. There's nothing I can do. I called down to HR to just put bad stuff. I put bad stuff in his report at HR. I was like, hey, man, listen, if y'all could put in there that Mr. Johnson was late every day. I'm not no snitch, but Mr. Johnson would clock in and then go park. I'm waiting on him to reach a milestone where he got to go and do a speech. And he'll be like, and as my dad, Mr. Johnson, always said, wait, what? It was so hurtful. As a dad, I was already prepared to work with him his whole life. Bill Cosby had a popular joke about how boys and dads, they work in the backyard, sweating, toiling to make sure that boy becomes the best athlete that he could possibly come to. You would go to all his games and you work with him. He finally makes it pro, and he makes the biggest play in the biggest stage, and he just turns to the camera and he was like, hi, Mom. And you already prepared for that. I'm already prepared to lose him to his mama. That's fine. But I didn't expect another man to come in and steal my son. Look at that. I told him to invite me to his graduation cookout. Can't do it. No, Mark Johnson, that is not a Carlos Mencia joke. That is a Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby had that joke in the early whenever. So Carlos Mencia must have stolen it from Bill Cosby. It's one of the first jokes that Bill Cosby did that I remember. I grew up, I read Bill Cosby's book, Fatherhood and Myself. I read the books as a kid. I can see me toiling. Listen, I pay my son's tuition. I can see myself toiling, working out here in these streets, working hard, showing a little skin to make sure he got his tuition paid, buying them uniforms, getting them lunch. I can see him getting a graduation and be like, none of this would have been possible without you, Mr. Johnson. It would have. You show up if you want to, Mr. Johnson. You know what? And I realized that I really never did get over it. I thought that I had matured enough to put it in the past and be like, it's okay that Mr. Johnson was a great role model. And now I realize I don't think I like Mr. Johnson at all. I think I'm gonna ban you from the show. No, it's fantastic, man. I think that everybody ends up with different role models. I think sometimes a different voice hits differently. I think hearing stuff from your parents, and then we all have heard things from our parents but there's always a different voice. It just kind of hits differently. You hear it from a different voice. It just works different. That's why I try to be in the lives of a lot of these young men that I coach and I work with all the time. Because a lot of times, even if they're hearing these things at home, to have them reinforced when they get out in the world is different. And Mr. Johnson got a different worldview than I have. So it's cool. Mr. Johnson, young, closer, young and cool. And that's all right. I'm getting tired. I'm getting ready to get to the point. I ain't even gonna lie. Even God had to use a preacher here. The God been telling you this stuff all the time, and here comes John the Baptist, and now all of a sudden you listening. Here's my thing. I've got to get used to the fact, and I hate it. I gotta get used to the fact that I'm 40 and I'm old. I have a little bit in my feelings, Mache. I gotta get used to the fact that I'm 40, I'm old. And I've been trying to fight it for the longest time, and I can't fight it. Sports, I keep participating in sports, and that was the first inkling that I was getting a little old. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I've been thinking about putting that Coco Moon set or whatever the name of that color in. I've been thinking about putting the color in the beard up. I've been thinking about trying to go all black with the beard. I've been thinking about that takes a couple of decades off. I've been thinking about going all black, taking a couple of decades off the face. I can't lie to you. I've been thinking about it. Because I keep getting the disrespect. I go to the gym. I'm playing basketball. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm in the gym. I'm playing basketball. Dude's like, yo, who got OG? And I'm like, yeah, who got OG? Realizing that OG is me. They calling me OG. I know it's a sign of respect from the young boys, but the young boys be like, what up, Unc? I be like, oh, hey. Women relish it. Women can't wait to be aunties. Women like, the aunties. I'm an auntie. Go auntie. It's a whole song about aunties. Man, we ain't trying to be unks. Ain't nobody trying to be no unk. That is not the move. We don't want to be unks. We don't want it. Because that unk takes away a lot from you. That unk takes away. That unk hurts. It's 3 letters, but it hurts you so hard. When they call you unk, that means you're not cool, you're not relevant, you can't do none of the stuff that you used to do. Now, as an unk, everything you do is a surprise. When you play in sports, no matter what sport you play, football, basketball, especially basketball, you play basketball. When you are unk, everything that you do is almost like a Special Olympian. Somebody be like, who got unk? That means who checking the weakest guy on the team. You automatically become the weakest guy on the team as unk. Nobody wants unk. Oh man, I gotta check unk. What do you mean you gotta check me? Now anything that I do is almost like y'all clapping for me, like when y'all do when a little special child does something. No, when a baby accomplishes, all right, Unc made a shot. No, middle finger to the law. I can still ball. I still got a jump shot. As you get older, your jump shot gets better. I can still ball. Matter of fact, I can't constantly be as great as I was, but any moment I can be as great as I ever was. In the moment I can hit that. Listen, they call all my moves old school. I don't work on any moves. What? I don't have that kind of time. These young kids working and developing new moves. They still dribbling, doing stuff. I'm holding on to the stuff that worked for me when I was younger. Don't call me Unc. Don't call me OG. Y'all can have it. The aunties, y'all can have it. No, I'm not Unc. I'm not OG. Nothing. I feel like I can marry a lady that got kids, but she got grandkids. I can't do it. Because I'm instant pop. No, sir. Pop. I don't want it. Got one of my friends, he's a great granddaddy. No, dude, like every time you add something like that, one of your bones start hurting. If you accept you got to accept body pain. I don't want it. There's power in them words. Yesterday at football practice, I'm walking with one of the other coaches, not one of the kids, one of the other coaches. And he disrespects me by saying, are the kids still the same as they were when you were coaching back in the day? Did you just hit me with a back in the day? Like I was like, you know, it's a little different because now they don't wear the leather helmets. I was a little pissed. Because to me, first of all, time moves differently. So I know I took a gap in my coaching, but to me, it was just yesterday. It was just day before yesterday when I was playing. So every now and again, I get out on the field and I show the kids, hey, I still got it. I will jam a kid up. Hit him right in the chest. Try to cave his chest in just to let him know. And this is now this is an oxymoron. I know I don't like to hear it, but now I'm using old man strength. That's different. That's a different level of strength. I'm using grown-up strength. You can't develop this in the weight room. This is from years of going to work. That jam right there, I hit that. Listen, I try to show him that arm to the chest. I nearly killed 4 kids. There was 3 kids that didn't have asthma before I hit them in the chest. They do now. Yeah. I can't do it. He asked me, the kids are the same as they were back in the day. Man, my slap hand couldn't get ready fast enough. Why I oughta. Let's get his word of the day. The word of the day is not Uncle and it's not Mr. Johnson. I'll tell you that right now. Never trust a man who's got a pre-made porno name. You already got a porno. What if he has some weight on him? Mr. Johnson ain't got no weight on him. But what if Mr. Johnson was a little bit heavy, was portly? He could walk up, they call me Big Johnson. No, sir. No. Never trust that guy. Never trust Big Johnson. Yeah. Today's word of the day is gridiron. Oh, well, there you go. A gridiron is a football field. The word gridiron is also used sometimes to refer to a grate for boiling food, as put the steaks on the gridiron, or something consisting of or covered with a network, as in a gridiron of streets and avenues. The book recounts the quarterback's most glorious moments on the gridiron. I didn't pick the game. I didn't pick the word. The word picks itself. And I'm sure they picked that word because today is by far the greatest day of the year. It's the first day of football season. Ladies, y'all, and I know some of y'all claim to like football. Even the diehard football ladies that I've met in my life, they ain't got nothing on men. This is a man's time. We allow women in. We allow some of you ladies to come in and enjoy football with us, but this is really for the fellas. Go Broncos. I'm not sold on Bo Nix yet, Jamal, but go Broncos. I mean, I gotta go Nix because he, our success, really relies on him. But today's the first day of football season, officially, NFL. College starts it all. College is John the Baptist, but pro is Jesus. The John the Baptist came with college football starting, roll tide. But right now, pro game starts tonight. You got the Chiefs versus the Ravens. And unfortunately, God didn't favor me at all. I'm trying to figure out how to call in from my volunteer job. All right, Stephanie, for going with the Texans, I like it. I'm trying to figure out right now. Marsha, ain't nobody got time for that. I did say that about women. And Bree, I respect you as a football watcher. I do. But you don't live it. You there, but you don't live it. It's not your blood. It's not. Women can watch football. This is the perfect example. I got a friend of mine. She's very, very, very dear friend. Very, very dear friend. Love her genuinely. And she's a Cowboy fan. I overlook that fault in her life. I overlook her being a Cowboy fan. But she is like, but I ain't a Cowboy fan like that. I mean, I don't even watch the games. I just look to see. No. No. I'm not doing it. You're not a fan if you don't live and die with your team. I don't watch SportsCenter the whole week after a Bronco loss. The Broncos lose, Alabama lose. I'm not watching the whole week at all. There's no what am I watching SportsCenter for? So I could be reminded of the pain of us losing? No, I will watch again after we win. I'm not doing that. Y'all don't take it that hard. Here we go. Y'all go back on YouTube and look at all the videos of TVs being broken, of tables being flipped, of all that stuff. You show me a woman doing it. Women, y'all say y'all into the game, but y'all ain't into the game. You ain't TV breaking. You don't see no fights. You don't see two women fighting at the game. It ain't the same. We breathe this. We live it. A woman, your team can lose, and you immediately don't mind talking to people. Well, it was a good game. We tried hard. No. A man's team loses, he feels that in his soul. I don't even expect my team to be good, but don't talk to me after we lose. What you talking to me for? Just know, go on about your business. Bree, you keep trying to fight for you. You listen. No matter what Whitney Houston may tell you, Bree, you are not every woman. You are a complete exception to the rule. Yeah. You and I'm telling you, Bree, you a super exception to the rule because you a woman and you a woman's woman, but not a woman's woman like the LGBTQ. You enjoy the meat. You enjoy the meat. Most of the women that are super into it, they think they guys too. They keep a penis in the trunk. Jamal, when we lost to Seattle, I was in New York. The Super Bowl was held in New York. I was in New York. I wanted to fight every Seattle fan I saw. I can't even tell y'all how hard that was for me. It was a difficult time. Meanwhile, I'm going to be missing the game because the schedule makers of my high school football, which I thought I was safe because I'm coaching high school football, we got the nerve to have a varsity football game tonight. If you're in Portsmouth in the P-Town area, come out and support. Of course, I'm coaching at Manor High School. Come out and support the Manor Mustangs as we take on the Hickory Hawks tonight. It would be fantastic if y'all come out. Listen, your support, whether we win or lose, that money goes back into the kids. When you come in and you buy tickets to the game, goes to the kids. It's interesting some of the things that we have to do. I'm really focused on today, trying to make sure the kids have food today. Y'all would never believe. Yes, you can wear your Wilson shirt. You would never believe how important some of these meals are. Now the kids, now all our postal schools are Title I schools. You earn the moniker of being a Title I school when 70% of the kids in your school system are below the poverty level. Crazy, right? So 70% of the kids, and so they get free breakfast, they get free lunch. What's wild is yesterday I'm at practice. My coach, Jamal, you can do both. We're all right if you wear Wilson clothes. It's cool. Just come out. Yesterday I'm at practice, and while the kids are stretching, my coach, and I know this is a lot, our coach insists that we spend time with the kids. Our coach insists that we spend time with the kids, right? So I grew up in a different era. Our coaches didn't like us. When it was time to stretch or whatever, our coach was all to the side. They were talking about which mom they were sleeping with, all that kind of stuff. Our coaches never came and talked to us. They didn't want to develop personal relationships. You had to earn a personal relationship with your coach. You got a personal relationship with your coach based on how good you were or how bad. If you always making mistakes, the coach knew your name. And if you was good, coach knew your name. The rest of the guys, they just knew your number. Good play, 36. Okay, 47, I see you. You had to earn a relationship with your coach. So this coach is more about us. He got on us because when our kids would be stretching or doing something, all of us would be together. All the coaches would be together. Now, most of the time, we are talking about, hey, we need to put this kid in the game, or we need to put him there. What's our strategy for this week? Blah, 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 blah. Most of the time, we are talking about that. He's like, no, get to know these kids. Go in there, touch them, leave. No, don't touch them. No, touch their lives in a positive way. So yesterday, while the kids are stretching, I'm walking through the stretch lines, just talking to the kids. Took it upon myself to simply ask the kids. I said, hey, man, what you have for lunch today? I asked about 12 to 15 kids yesterday. Hey, man, what you have for lunch today? Nothing. What you have for lunch today? One kid was like, a honey bun. Nothing. Honey bun, nothing. I had half of the noodles they served at lunch. These are kids who get to school 7 o'clock in the morning. They don't leave practice till 6 o'clock at night. So on 12 hours, you ain't ate nothing that whole day. And you in the strenuous activity of football. How do you have the strength to really play football if you ain't even ate? So I'm realizing a lot of these kids don't eat. Some of these kids don't eat unless we provide them that food. So you start seeing some kids come through. We had the team meal last week. We had pizza. We'll never eat pizza again because that didn't lead to victory. So they come back through and they like, can I get seconds? Or after the game, they coming in, be like, hey man, can I take some of that food that we had pregame? Can I take some of that home? Like a lot of those kids, especially when you play on a Friday, some of those kids are going home to food insecure homes. So they going home, and the food that they take from that pregame or postgame meal on Friday, they finna make stretch for the weekend. These are true stories. And you don't imagine it, but that's true. It is getting to be, a lot of people don't understand the safe haven, the sanctuary that high school is for a lot of kids. I also feel sorry sometimes for kids that we cut or don't make the team. A lot of times you gotta really be sensitive to the kid that joins an activity that's not very good at it, because there's multiple reasons why they may join. Stephanie, I see you see the thing with the band. When you look at the band, you got a kid, you be like, this kid ain't got no rhythm, he ain't got no soul, he ain't got no, why is he in my band? He ain't got his notes right yet, he ain't made checkoffs not one time. But this is the only time this kid can go somewhere, feel accepted, feel loved. This is the only place he can go. Matter of fact, I'm only in the band because my mom can't afford any kind of childcare. It shouldn't be in high school, but I don't want to be home alone. I don't want to be home by myself. It's bad in my neighborhood. There's nothing for me to eat. There's nobody for me to be around. I have no friends throughout the entire day. This band family is the only family that I have. These band directors are the only adults that care about me, and I need this. So you want to cut them, But you realize it's something different. I see it all the time on football field. Why would you sign up to play out of all sports? I can see the chess team. I can see some other stuff. Why would you go out and put yourself through the physical demands of being a bad football player? Y'all don't understand how hard it is to be a bad football player. When I was growing up playing football, it was a young man by the name of Tim Ross. Tim Ross was by far the worst football player I've ever seen. He didn't like contact. He was slow. He couldn't catch, couldn't block. He couldn't do anything that was necessary on the football field. He was a professional crash test dummy. We used to put Tim in the game to get hit. I never got hurt in football, which is crazy. I tore my ACL running track. I broken a leg playing softball. But football has always been good to me. The only injury I've ever had playing football was I dislocated my pinky finger. This one right here was in the shape of an L. And I did that hitting Tim Ross. I was playing tight end. We ran a 43 lead. My job was to pick up the middle linebacker. Tim Ross was playing the middle linebacker in scout team, and he balled up like this, and I hit him. When I went to go hit him, my finger dislocated on Tim. I laid Tim out on the play. But Tim would get laid out and get right back up. Laid out, he was a crash test dummy. Tim needed the camaraderie of being on the football team. Tim needed to be able to be around people. Tim got bullied on the football team but showed up every day. We used to have to run laps. I'm pretty sure this was illegal. We used to have to run laps. It was a tree that we had to run laps around. And one of the things, one of the kind of freshman hazing or rookie, like in your first year, or if you felt like the weaker player, some of the stronger players, they would run and they would get to the tree first. They would hide behind the tree. It was a big tree. And when you came to run your lap around the tree, they would come back through and lay you out. Blah! Tim Ross was a victim of that layout more times than not. Tim got laid out by that tree so much, he wouldn't even run near the tree no more. I don't think Tim liked trees probably to this day. Tim hates Arbor Day. I know he can't stand Arbor Day. He's like, I had to kill all the trees. It was an origin story waiting to happen. But he showed up every day. Kids who show up for that, who take the physical abuse of playing football, getting hit, not being good, doing up, downs, all of that is a reason why they're there. Some of those kids need it. They just need to be around somebody. I need to feel like one of the cool guys, even if it's just for a moment. Nobody wears their jersey prouder than that kid that ain't getting in the game. I will bet you, Doc, there is no kid. You want to talk about that jersey that's going to be taken care of, protected, ain't going to have. The superstar don't care about his jersey. Superstar wears jersey to school, give it to a girl, let the girl wear it, all of that kind of stuff. But that kid that is not getting in the game is wearing that jersey proud. You hand him that jersey the night before, he hanging that thing up in his room, probably taking all kinds of pictures. He adores that jersey. There's an altar set up to that jersey. It means so much to him, he ain't going to play a down. That kid that ain't going to get in the game warms up harder than anybody you will find. Snoop is on here. He a coach. He knows. That kid is going to warm up harder than anybody. He running crisp routes. Dropped it. But he was there. Look out for these kids, man. Look out for these kids. I'm trying to figure out how to feed these kids today. I got to make sure these kids eat. There's so many struggles, so many things that these kids are going through, and a lot of times they're not even addressed. I got to shout out Portsmouth Public School. Then I'm gone. I know I went on a tangent. I got to shout out Portsmouth Public Schools. They got a new program in the school system. They're trying to they have what are called behavior interventionalists. These are people who come in and they try to figure out how to stop negative behaviors from happening. What can we provide to these kids so that they can have some positive outlets? Sometimes the behavior, can we get to the bottom of the behavior? Why is little Johnny getting suspended in school? Why is the teacher his trigger? Why doesn't he want to be in class? We can provide some outlets. Sometimes we never got to the bottom of it. Like there used to be kids, if you actually go and look, and if you look at the stories of kids, if you ever look at the stories of kids, there are certain kids. Oh yeah, I know y'all got Tuesday and Thursday. Y'all got counselors that come to y'all practices. Mental health. They tell you got mental health professionals that come to their game. It's crazy. I never thought about it. You got to get to the root of why a lot of these kids are where they are. We look at it. If you ever read a story about kids who say, I couldn't read growing up, I would get in trouble on purpose before I would let the teacher ask me to read out loud. I get put out of class. They would rather go through getting put out of class, being seen as a discipline problem than to let everybody know I don't read well. I don't read orally well. I don't. That's not what I do. I'm not a very good reader. Now, you could get to the point of finding out that he couldn't read if he actually would read, but he was like, man, to save that embarrassment, I'd rather just get put out of class. Believe it or not, when the schools are handcuffed, when you start talking about suspending kids from school, so suspending kids from school is difficult because yes, you want to do it for the disciplinary reasons. I don't know what went on there. I think everything just went down for a second. But I hate my internet provider. Listen, I don't know how y'all ladies do it, but me and Cox just don't get along. I can't. I am not a fan of Cox. It's not for me. My internet goes down at least once a day, every day, and I bet you that's what happened to me because it says no internet on my computer. It says no internet. It's crazy, but thank y'all for staying and not leaving. What I was saying is, I got to give applause to the behavior intervention specialists in Portsmouth because they are constantly coming up with new. I'm looking at my router. My router looks right. I don't know what's happening. They're coming up with new and not exciting ways, but new ways to step in and help kids that get suspensions. This is they're doing it for the elementary school kids. A lot of those kids that get suspended end up going home. For some kids, a suspension is impossible to come back from. If you get suspended, there's no way for you to overcome that. There's just no way. They'd be like, how can I overcome it? I'm out of school now. My work is piling up, and so because they behind and they feel like they can't, their behaviors just kind of multiply. They get put on top of each other. Their parents can't afford to have them at home when they get suspended. So now they have a new service where if your kid gets an out of school suspension, they're not trying to celebrate them being suspended, but they will allow them to come to another school. They got a whole area set up for the out of school suspension kids where they're going to try to help them stay up on their work and try to address some of the behaviors that got them suspended. They're also trying to make in-school suspension more of a place where it's not necessarily a rehab, but it is more structured so that if a kid goes in there, they don't want to be in there, but if they're in there, they're learning and they're coming up with ways to cope with their behaviors and do better. Because right now, kids like going to ISS. I didn't ever want to go, but there's a lot of kids now, they be like, man, they're using ISS as a timeout from their regular class. It's crazy. I don't want to deal with my teacher no more. Let me do something that'll get me put in ISS. Because the ISS instructor just in there, he like, look, I don't get paid enough. Let me speak it into your life. So do whatever it is you do. It's a lot. It's multi-layered. Anyway, I'm getting out of here, man. Today's game day. The NFL season starts today. You can go ahead and rep your team. Let everybody know who you do. I ride with the Broncos. Y'all know that. It's a hard knock life, but it's the only life that I live. Excited for football season. My pick for the night, I got the Ravens coming out with a victory tonight. For some reason, I just feel like the Ravens will beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs always start off cold. They have a reverse suspension where the parents come to school. And I get it, but in every instance, you can't do that. Like, you want to be like, okay, so since you can't act right, your parent got to come to school for 3 days. Well, every parent can't afford to take 3 days off of work because little John got in trouble. And something that I didn't know, a lot of people said that they want to work with. This came out yesterday in the meeting that I was in. I was in a meeting yesterday with the schools, and it came out yesterday. We really need help with these pre-K and kindergarten kids. Pre-K is now, those are the COVID babies. They are now in school. Some of them are developmentally delayed. Some of them are emotionally delayed. And some of them, they just demon spawns. That's pretty much where you could film the sequel to Deliverance in a pre-K classroom. These are your biters, your kickers, your screamers, all of them. Pre-K, 4 years old. So we got to keep an eye and attention on those kids as well. It's just a lot. I applaud schoolwork. Everybody that works in the school. There's so many more levels than just the teachers. You got behavior interventionists. You got community partners. You got so many people who have to work together to make a school system work. If you own a business, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are somebody who is able to hire some of these kids that are in high school, we are starting to now know that every kid is not going to be involved in academia beyond their high school career. It used to be go high school, go to college. Now it's going to be like go to high school, become a productive citizen. So if you are willing to do mentorships, if you're willing to do internships, all of those things, reach out to your school systems and see what you can do. Oh, thank you, Courtney's mom. If you can go out there, teachers, assistants, if you can work in whatever way, if you have it in your heart, and I know it's not easy. God knows I know it's not easy. If you have it in your heart that you feel like you can go out there and be of some assistance to these school systems, please do it. Listen, they will tell you, and the lady told me yesterday, she said, monetarily, we always need money. The money is fine, but human resources are so much more important. If we invest in our kids, if we invest in I'm talking about actively invest, not just your money, but your time. The money is amazing too. Don't get me wrong. If you got money that you can put into the programs, do that. But if you can put your time in, even if it's 30 minutes a month, 30 minutes a month will make a huge difference in the lives of these kids. And it will help the teachers so much. So much. Y'all will never believe how much you lighten the load, especially on the elementary school level, if you volunteer to come and be a lunchroom monitor. You will never know how much that lightens the loads of the teachers where they can just be free for lunch. Eating lunch with no encumbrance means so much to a teacher in their day. I'm telling you, these are little secrets. These are little things that I know to be fat. But I'll be back tomorrow, man. Hopefully I'll be a little bit better. Lord willing, the creek don't rise. I'll be back tomorrow to try to do this a little bit better than I did today. I hope y'all have a fantastic day, man. You guys are special. I love y'all from a special place in my heart. Y'all mean so much to me. I'll be back on tomorrow. Make sure you make somebody feel good today, even if that somebody just happens to be you. I'm going to try to find my music so I can get out of here. Let's see if it still works, even from the phone. It should. I normally do it. I'm out, y'all. Oh, I got to push play. It's playing. I'm out, y'all. Peace.
Kick your shoes off, take a load off. Don't go nowhere till the show's off. Oh, you know it's gonna be a movie when you got Cletus Cassidy on your TV. Yeah, already know Mr. Funny Man. Coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show. Cletus Cassidy Show. Already know who's the funny man. Coming to you and making you laugh again.